Thank you very much. Lusana, Ambassador Mudaura talked about housing, Mwai Kibaki did, and I just triggered my mind when William Ruto brought the affordable housing and there was outcry out there. People are saying they be left alone to do their own houses. I had a conversation with him. He says, no, we need houses. I told him, Mwai Kibaki did a lot of housing, but not the actual construction. Government did not have a housing program. All Mwai Kibaki did was to open up the bypass, provide infrastructure in terms of sewage, electricity, and water. And the private sector, on its own, build houses all over the world. And they are there for everybody to see. There is no need for government to compete with the private sector. The work of government is not to do houses, it's to provide services. And of course, he said, I'm not going to back out. So, one of the things we need to do, of us who are like-minded, we want to have scrap the housing levy and reinstate the housing initiative to the private sector by government just providing. Just do roads, water, open up. Things will just come up on their own. Then I must say, I went to see Mwai Kibaki in 1988. Student leader at the University of Nairobi, I was the chairman of the University. Through my then member of parliament, Matiang'i, I saw fortunate to see Vice President and I went to his office in the White House. Sort of discussion, I wanted to know. Unfortunately, give me somebody to start the business. Not Mwai Kibaki. He went on himself, behind it, there were many books. He looked. This one book and gave it to me. That book, the other is called Fine. If you want to do business, go and read this book. That is his mentorship. They are about business instead of tokenism. Will they please back quickly to finish the mausoleum in Obaya? Much as we are having this ceremony here, the villagers back home would like to celebrate with him. They would like to come and remember him. Since we cannot bring them here to Nairobi, we send to Professor Kagwaja and foreign policy. Just like to come to Obaya, just to remember the old men for what Kagwaja, thank you. Foreign policy, you have told us Mwai Kibaki, his foreign policy was based on the best interest for his country. The other day I talked about our foreign policy in Sudan, driven by commercial interests. So one of the Ruto flower girls yesterday tried to lecture me. I shouldn't talk about it because I sold to some constitution. Constitution that I and Muturi sold to is to do the right thing and to keep the law, not to enable other countries to buy arms. And Eugene Wamalwa, we are looking at what is happening out Butere girls. We are unable to understand what is this viciousness against children by the present government. Even the colonial government that was very brutal, it never went for the children. Uzungu, they were very brutal, but they spared the children. We have seen a situation where an administration has panicked because this one term is becoming real. So they have gone berserk. They have gone berserk and they are now fighting shadows, including schoolgirls. From 2 girls, from 3 girls, these are harmless girls. How fluid is your government if girls can bring it down? Girls. Surely. So when you look at the situation in the Sudan, we are allowing gold to be processed in Kenya and guns to be smuggled through Nairobi to go and kill children. So we are asking, what is this vile against young children? So the killing of the Gen Zs, the abductions of young children. What is this vile against innocent young children? We move on, let's pray for the country. Passing down again to Shukuru. I'm looking at General Gachagua here, and I want to say, if General Gachagua was the director of this, that plane would not have been banned in Nakuru if it had been banned. Because it came all the way from the sub-county, nobody noticed. It went to the county, nobody noticed. It went to the region and it became number 3, nobody noticed. They only noticed about it in Nakuru, in the finals, because of a failed intelligence system. You know, that will not happen. So if a decision needed to be made that that is a bad play, people should not see it. Ingesimamishiwa huko mbali, because the houses on the ground already. Watu wote wamelala, kila mtu anatafuta pesa. Hii serikali ni ya biashara, watu ya intelligence wanatafuta biashara, watu ya polisi wanatafuta biashara, rais mwenyewe anatafuta biashara. Sasa these are things that will make Mwai Kibaki turn in his grave. You know, tuko na shida kubwa, lakini Mungu anatusaidia. So Jacob Haji, we are forming a political party. May we look for a way to work with the Democratic Party. We would like to be associated with Mwai Kibaki and what we achieve. Yote around 11. Nani nachuna majani chai? Nani yuko kwa shamba ya kahawa? Karibu. Ukiendelea namna hii karibu. Put the window up and talk to life. Nobody ever came again to this Mwai Kibaki. Watu walienda kwa mashamba. And that is how this country was transformed. The culture of hard work. I want to say that many people today who are solid in this country, I included, we made our money during the time. Of course, government documents were accepted. If you had an LPO issued to you from government, you could walk into a bank and get 50% as LPO finance. Of course, you do the work and you get paid. Today, you go to an LPO, to a bank, nobody will talk to you. He really dignified government contracts, making sure that contracts were only given when money was available. These great men pushed taxation. And we want today, as we remember him, in a very important way, there's nothing wrong with that. Kenyans cannot be accused of refusing. Of course, Mwai Kibaki did it. Deeper court, and people paid taxes. And they didn't complain because they saw a corresponding development and services. Kenyans don't have a problem with paying taxes, but Kenyans have a big problem in paying taxes that they cannot see where the money is going. We want to ask our brothers now in government to know that Kenyans are not complaining about taxation because they don't want to pay tax. They have a problem of paying taxes and it's appropriated but are not used appropriately. And Mwai Kibaki is a living testimony that Kenyans are willing to pay taxes. We want to see a corresponding service and development. Mwai Kibaki respected institutions. Ambassador Moto is here. Ambassador, we want to submit. Why Kibaki would not have succeeded without the support of democracy. But he also allowed him to work. Because we know he allowed people to work. Because if you have a supporting system that supports you, it can only be effective to support you if you allow them to work. Why Kibaki respected institutions. Going forward, that must be the way for this country so that institutions can work. Again, we must remember him for the 2010 Constitution. All those who say that they remember him fondly, the way to dignify his legacy is to implement the Constitution, follow it letter and spirit. Because when we do that, we have a good country. Kibaki spoke very little, did much. Most of us are learning from him. Nowadays, I only talk about him. Becoming a good student of Mwai Kibaki. Going forward, I will talk after 2 weeks, then a month, because he spoke very little and did a lot. And I think you don't need to speak much. Just work, and work can be seen. If you remember free primary education, it was real. It is. Mwai Kibaki didn't have to talk about it. How could he a debate? He did it and it was there for everybody to see and to feel. Let me today and your siblings. Many people do not appreciate the place of family. There's no leader who can succeed if you don't have family support. The fact that Mwai Kibaki was a very successful leader speaks volume of the support that the family gave. Therefore, as we celebrate him, we want to honor the family, standing behind your father, supporting him at home, and allowing him to dedicate his life to the service of this great family. Again, we also want to honor the Kibaki family. Despite many challenges and temptations, you never allowed yourself to be misused by entrepreneurs to spoil the name of your father and yourself. Mwai Kibaki is gone, but his integrity and that of his family remains up. Nobody has ever seated Mwai Kibaki and his family in any scandal. And we know the temptations around family, like people who want to use proximity to power. So you have really dignified your father because his name is good. And nobody has ever told him anything that would have looked conflict of interest or commercial interest for his tenure in State House. He did a good job, and we want to really salute the family because that is usually. Acha ni introduce huyu Ketu wa Uhuru, simama pigia makofi. Huyu mrembo ya Laikipia. And we have our daughter, she's called Gaga in Kikuyu land. Honorable Gathoni wa Muchomba. Tuko na Masi Gakuya, alikuwa mjumbe hapo Karani. She has been associated with this party for tuko na Norman Nyaga na wengine, na tunashukuru sana, and the organizers of this function, we are honored. Tuko na Jane Kihara, the great lady of Naivasha, alichaguliwa as an MP kwa hii chama ya Democratic Party. The third member ako kwa tamu ya 3. Kali anaangushaga wanaume 7 kila uchaguzi. Wote wanaweka chini. These strong women, they are strong people. So tumeshukuru sana, and thank you very much. And sana Ambassador Gaura and your team that supported Mwai Kibaki. We honor you because you made him great by serving him well and helping him to steer this country, even as he advanced in age. You know, his things were going very, very well. But again, it is him who gave you the opportunity and allowed you to work. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
Mpigie makofi. The people